Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Evangelist Jason Cárdenas, and I am super excited that you're with us in this moment. I know New Year is one of the most anticipated moments. We're like, thank God 2020 is done. Thank God 2021 is done. I'm excited for 2022. So happy New Year to everybody. And I know every time there is a new year, well, we hear the word New Year resolution a lot. That is one of the words that is very common, or the phrases, better said, that's very common. New Year's resolution. And it's great to have a New Year resolution because it gives us something to strive for. In the new year, we leave behind what we did in 2021, our accomplishments and all that, and we begin a fresh new year. And although New Year's are very good, New Year resolutions are very good, but one thing that we need to keep in mind is that in order to achieve the things that we want to achieve in this new year, we can't always use the same methods and ideas that we did in the past year. Because in order to be effective, we need to introduce new ideas, new tools in order to allow us to make this New Year's resolution not just an idea, but to actually see it come to pass. And in these next couple of weeks, we want to share with you under the subject of innovation. Innovation. And when we look at the word innovation, this is what innovation means it means to make changes or do something in a new way. And for the next few weeks, we want to share under the topic of innovation. When I was younger, I would go a lot to Guatemala to visit my family. And one of the things that I really, really liked about Guatemala is that in the area that we would go visit, there were a lot of local bakeries. And in Guatemala, in that area, it was very hot, practically all year round, but especially during the summer, it was very hot. So what we would do is we would go to the local bakeries, and my family and I we would get some bread. Now I would get some sweet bread, but not just for the breakfast. I would take it to have it throughout the rest of the day. So then I found myself eating sweet bread for lunch with a cup of coffee. And then if for in the evening for dinner time, I would skip dinner and I would eat some more sweet bread. So I would do this for a few days. And then after a few days, I began to notice something that even though I was full, my stomach was full from all of the sweet bread, I really did not have enough strength to really make it through the day and do some of the things that I wanted to do effectively. And that's when I realized that yes, I had eaten the sweet bread, but that food source wasn't giving me the strength to go about my day and do all the things that I wanted to do. And in order for us to be effective in the things that we want to do in this new year, be in the ministry, be our jobs, be in new ideas, we need to introduce a new source. We cannot use the same source that we've used in the past. Because many of us, the source of a lot of things we do is people's comments, people's applauses, people's good jobs, and all of that is good. But that will only get us a certain distance. It's only going to get us so far. But we need to introduce a new source of strength that's going to allow us to see the fulfillment of our New Year resolution. And I like the way the psalmist David says it. And this is the verse that I want to base this moment on. Psalm 28, verse 7 says in the New Living Translation, it says, "The Lord is my strength." Five powerful words. The Lord is my strength and shield. I trust him with all of my heart. He helps me, and my heart is filled with joy, and I burst out in song of thanksgiving. This is a powerful verse. The first five words, the Lord is my strength. I want you right there to repeat with me, the Lord is my strength. See, when the Lord is your strength, number one, you know you have help and you have protection. Say with me, help and protection. See, Psalm 28 is a very interesting chapter because when you begin to read the initial verses, you're realizing that David is calling out unto the Lord because his enemies have lifted up against him. His enemies have risen up against him. And I don't know about you, but when you hear people have lifted up against you or people are rising up against you, some of us, we will get stressed, we'll get worried, we'll get anxious, we may not be able to sleep, and it is worrisome. But David says The Lord is my strength. The Lord is my strength. See, that is very powerful for moments like this. Because how many of you have felt the enemy rise up against you? How many of you have felt that in the midst of what you're working through, the enemy is getting up against you? This is powerful because when the Lord is your strength, he is also your shield. The psalmist David says, he helps me. So David is realizing something very, very powerful, that yes, the enemies have risen up against him, but the Lord is helping him. The Lord is his helper, and he is also his protector. One thing that I love about God's protection and help in times that are tough, in times where we feel the enemy has risen up against, is that God protects you. Listen to this, not only from the things you see, but also from the things that you cannot see. That is how powerful God is, because a lot of us, we're aware sometimes of what the enemy's trying to do. We're aware that the enemy has risen up against, but a lot of times there are things that we don't even know the enemy is working on the background. Things that we don't even realize that he's doing. And God, when he is protecting you, when he is your source of your strength, he is protecting you from things that you can see in the moment, and he's protecting you from things that you haven't seen. See, some of us need to take a moment and realize and thank God for the things that he has protected us, things that we weren't even aware of. He has protected us. So the psalmist David says, you know what? He is my help and he is my protection. That is powerful stuff right there. But then the second thing that I want you to realize is that the psalmist David, he is in a tough moment. People have lifted up against him, but he has the courage to say the following: my heart is filled with joy. He is able to find joy in a tough moment. And look at the word here. It's not happiness. He's saying, I am able to find joy. Because there's a big difference between happiness and between joy. Happiness is based on what is going on the outside, things that people do, things that people say. So it's based on external factors. But joy is based on what is inside. And when you realize that it doesn't matter what's going on around, but God is protecting you, God is the source of your strength, you are able to find joy when things are not working out too well. I don't know about you, but I am the type of person that I have things very well planned out. I'm a big planner. I like to have things sorted out. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, so in January, I'm doing this. In February, I'm doing that. In March, I'm doing this. And in my whole calendar, in my whole plan, I have nothing but positive things I want to do, successes. But sometimes we forget or we don't realize that in the midst of all that, there are some tough things that are going to happen, tough times that are going to come. And for me, I have all of that planned out. But when tough moments arise, stuff that I was not expecting, it kind of throws me off a little bit. And it is so easy to get discouraged or to get sad when things are not working out well. But when God is your strength, when God is the source of your strength, you realize that, hey, things do not look good in the moment, but I know that they're going to get better. Things are not always looking the best right now, but I know for a fact that the Lord is going to help me and get me through it. And that is why I may not have the resources, I may not have all the tools, I may not have all the items, but I know that God is going to help me and he's going to get me through it. And then the last thing I want to share with you is when God is the source of your strength, this is powerful. You realize that in tough times, and no matter what is going on, everything is going to be okay. That is powerful. Everything is going to be okay. Look at what he says in verse 9, and this is what I want to share with you. He says, save your people, bless them, guide them, and take care of them. That is something very powerful. When you know that God is the source of your strength, he is going to guide you and all of that, you can realize that he is going to save his people. He's going to bless them. He is going to guide them and he is going to care for them. If your strength comes from other things, then in tough times, you may want to give up. And when you're working and halfway through the year, you realize that things are getting tough, things are getting bad, you may want to quit. But when God is the source of your strength, no matter what is going on around you, you realize, hey, it might not look good, but I know things are going to turn out fine. I know things are going to work out for good. So that's why David, in the midst of this psalm, people are rising up against him. Things are not going well, but he says, God, you are the source of my strength. And because you are the source of my strength, I know I got help from you. I know things are going to work out well. So I want to leave you with this a short reflection, because 2022 is going to be a year of resolution, a year where we're going to work and move forward in what God has planned out. And things are going to seem difficult. The enemy is going to rise. But in the midst of all that, God is our source of strength. And because He is our source of our strength, I am not moved by what is around me, but I realize that all is going to turn out well. God bless you.